live.
On live.
Greetings, everyone. We are now live, and I'm Brad Telton. And today, joining me are Marco and Josh, who won't be sharing their cameras today, but we are going to be playing version 7 of the Mega Man board game today for you, showing off some of the new systems that we've been working on and what the game is all about in its current form. So, I'll go over everything bit by bit as we set up. Josh and Marco are already deep into the gameplay, it seems. But let's just go through the basics. So, in this version of the game, we will be building out our battle routines with these battle chips. These come together and integrate to make a nice grid on the table, and then you, the player, move your character around that grid in order to activate
You
chips.
can't go. You can't go down there, Brad. You
Yeah,
just broke your own rules.
yes, I know. You
Ah,
follow the arrows, so this would be a correct traversal, like one, and then two, and then three, and so forth. And you can do so each turn you'll get to move, and then you activate whatever chip you land on. All right, and a chip might look like this. It'll cost you some weapon energy. It'll do some damage. It'll have a type. It'll have some effects, and at the bottom right there, you'll see the bolt cost of the chip, and that's what you use to buy and upgrade chips between rounds. All right. Yeah, the game does look very different, and you might say, in fact, it is very different. Game design is the art of cutting relentlessly what doesn't work the first time. So
Yep.
yeah. So to start off the game, you get to pick any of these character cores. This is the starting chip in your what do you say, grid. You can play as any robot master. Maybe that depends on the final game, but we're going to make cores for as many robot masters as we can, plus the starting core characters of the franchise: Mega Man, Roll, Proto Man, and Bass. For our friends at home, I'll just be playing Mega Man today. And you can see next to me here, Marco is playing Pluto from Mega Man 5 or Rockman World 5 for Game Boy. Josh is playing the promotional trombone character, which is not appearing in this game, but was
yeah, Miz
created
not
by
appearing in
popular
this game.
request of Josh for demo purposes only.
It's
And she's a master of robots, right? That counts.
She's not part of the franchise, Josh.
Hmm.
Yeah. So for people
Legends is
who,
dead.
just in case, these are all like legends. These are just all prototyping things, right? Like, so the
Yes, this is
characters
all
aren't
prototype
final.
material, so nothing you see here will likely be in the
Alright.
final game. But it'll still give you an idea of the mechanics that we can put into the final game. Um, so, just to give you an
Yeah, we're mainly
This
testing
board
out this
game
new system.
lacks
So
a board. Oh, friends, you do not know what demons you have brought into this conversation by asking for a board. Because we're not done setting up yet, and I don't know if you see the sins that we brought upon you.
so you build your Robot Master loadout by selecting a couple of Robot Masters.
You
Uh,
build your own character select screen.
yes,
Yeah.
this is a fundamental principle of the Mega Man board game. So is this the loadout that we're fighting?
Well, I just picked whatever, right?
Okay, sure. All right. And we probably won't get through all of these. You can play with 4 Robot Masters and or 6 or 8. All right. So
All right.
anyway, the what do we say? Um, ugh. So to start off with, I will grab a few chips
Yeah.
here.
So Marco is a cut man main confirmed.
Yeah. Um,
They're in the wrong order. You can build it however you want, friends. Chad is saying that it looks like you have abandoned the original game altogether. If you watched any of the previous streams, this new version, the games that we've previously shown look nothing like the original game either. So,
Yeah,
uh,
there's I mean that
are
is
you
kind
using
of how it
the
is. It's very difficult to use the same components in a new game, and this is a different game. So you know, yeah. I think for us, it's more important that we capture the spirit and the feel of Mega Man than that we reuse the old components. So that's
right?
Um, anyway, let's get
Right,
back to
right.
the
It's
the
more
actual
important to make a
gameplay.
game that's
Yeah,
good than
and yeah, and we are
right,
being
right.
joined today by the Jasco Game staff who are watching this to kind of learn our game flow. So I do want to focus on the rules and not get too distracted by chats. All right. Anyway, so let me show you what these
Okay,
our
cool.
starter chips look like and explain how these work. So your typical starter chip here, Mega Buster, does 2 damage. There's no special costs, and you can buy these endlessly from the store. This jump has so these blocks at the bottom are defensive stats. So A lets you avoid damage. You can redirect the damage to one of your allies. The blue number here on slide is a block, and that will prevent that much incoming damage. So that is those
Right.
are the defensive abilities that you have in this game. There's some like this green reflect symbol. Um, so that's so that will actually reflect damage back at the boss. So these are some of the most powerful shield items in the game. All right, and then we've got a few other chips here.
Right.
At the start of the game, I'm able to buy 5 bolts worth of chips to begin with. So let's see what I have available since that everybody else hasn't taken from me. We'll get there. We'll get there. So you can arrange chips however you like around your core, and then take your player character and put it here in the middle. All right. Um, did it freeze up? Are we? Oh yeah, we're like kind of frozen.
Chat. Okay. Anyone else? Connection. Okay, it's back.
All
Cut
right.
out. They say.
I apologize for my busted internet over here. Um, yeah, and I still can't even interact with the board. Phew.
Oof. All right.
W-
Where do you want this to go?
Uh, just so. Yeah. Um, phew. All right. Sorry, guys. I know that it's pretty choppy over there. So I'll try to get through
All right.
again and talk through these rules. So we build our loadouts however we prefer with whatever chips that we've managed to acquire, and then we choose a robot master to do battle with. All right, um, and we all work together to defeat that robot master. And then move on to the next one and the next one and so on until we get to we've cleared all the robot masters and then fight Dr. Wily. All right. The
Mm.
Yeah, this is I can't I think I'm losing the stream again, Marco. It's
You're losing the stream again.
I don't know.
You want?
YouTube was giving me warnings, but now it's better. So maybe it's okay. All right.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
try. Let me just try and power through. If it gets chat, let me know, and I'll probably switch over to Discord video or
Will tell
something.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take a quick overview of our like the chips that we bought and what our characters can do. So I'm playing Mega Man here, and instead of activating, I can spend weapon energy to boost my chip and one of my allies' chips. So that will improve the next use of that chip. So, so this is a good cooperative power, very basic, straightforward. Pluto's abilities here is after activating, he can
Right.
move again. And then Tron's power is instead of acting, you can place a serve bot onto adjacent chip, remove the serve bot to activate the chip, so you can bank actions with Tron. Okay.
Okay. Chat is saying it died.
Yep. Oh, I think I just might have lost. No. Yeah, it's not happening. Hmm.
All right.
I'm gonna reset my router.
Do you want me to try? We can troubleshoot in the middle of the stream.
Yeah, you can try.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
stop
let
streaming.
me. Okay,
Do we need to create
Brad
another stream or what?
is going router reset. Yeah,
Yep.
and then
You
I'll
wanna
try
give
the
the
stream.
server back?
No, don't give the stay.
Sure.
All right.
So do I click in
We're
stream, Marco?
going to do the tabletop simulator window.
Should I?
Yes, yeah. No, don't click end stream.
Okay.
We are troubleshooting this on the fly. Let's see. Now I need to go to the stream manager myself. Let me just see if this works. So it says my stream health is okay. My output, video. All right. YouTube, what do you say? Excellent connection, it says. I'm not sure what people are seeing. Hey chat, what do you see? Do people see my screen? Do people see my screen? Insert satin cat meme here. I see a mixer. All right. Is it just a mixer? All right. This is a problem. So we remove this. We obviously add a display capture instead. Nope, display capture doesn't work. Game capture? Capture a specific window, tabletop simulator. Okay. Alright, chat, tell me if this works. Alright, tell me if this works, chat. Yeah, so now it's nada, but tell me if this works. No, so that was a... Okay, so is this working? Is this working, chat? Hey, we got it! Yeah! Alright, so, Josh, can you hit up Brad and tell him to rejoin the game / our call?
Yeah.
Alright, so everybody, my computer is not built for streaming, and my connection is a bit weird, but it's better than Brad's connection right now. So for people who missed it, the way... I'm going to talk about each of our characters and how they work. So, Mega Man's power is that he has Charge Shot. So in this game, right, you follow the arrows on the current card you're on, and those are the cards that you can move on to. Then, when you move on to that card, you activate it. And upon activating it, you get a few things based on the card you're on. The black number indicates the amount of damage the card deals. And if you are on a card with a blue number, or the red A, you gain some passive defensive stats. So the blue number is block. So when you're about to take any damage, you can essentially flip your figure over or tap it or whatever you want to call it and block that much damage. This means that you can only technically block damage from one instance of damage every single turn. You usually only need to block one instance anyway, so that's fine. Jump and any card with an A on it gives you the avoid keyword, which allows you to redirect damage. So if damage would hit you, you can instead make it hit your friends or the light lab / city, which essentially is this objective that we have to protect. So sometimes if you're literally about to die, you have no other choice but to redirect the damage to the light lab. All right. So so Josh is playing trombone.
Tronbon. Tell me the correct pronunciation, please. Please.
So, right, you got it. You should be fine.
Okay. So for people
So,
in
yeah,
the chat who don't
yeah.
know, this is like a. None of these assets are final. Like, this doesn't mean that we're gonna have Pluto or Tron or Hornet Man in the game. These are just like prototypings, right? This is just
Yeah,
for proof
we're
of
mainly just
concept.
doing this to test mechanics. For the
Right.
system.
Okay.
So, yeah, Tron can place serve bots on her chips, adjacent chips, instead of acting. So, for example, I could move to this chip.
Whoops.
I could move to this chip and place a serve bot here. And then on a future turn, I can remove a serve bot to activate that chip whenever. So, like, on a future turn, if I moved here and placed another serve bot, I could remove both of these and spend the appropriate weapon energy if it had, and activate both of them at once. So I have, like, save up all of my attacks and do a bunch
Right.
of chips all on the same turn.
So Tron can bank activations. So that's useful because sometimes the boss might put up some block, and Tron might not want to shoot at the boss at that point. So Tron can hold her attacks until the boss decides to drop shields, then you go in. Sorry, people in chat are asking, what does Charge Shot do? Because it says to boost your current chip or an ally's chip. Oh, and an ally's chip. So boost is a specific upgrade that you put onto one of your chips. And then when you activate that, if it deals damage, it just deals +2 damage. So essentially, Mega Man can charge chips. There you go. And then finally,
can you guys hear me? I'm back.
hi Brad. So I got the stream up and running on my side. So
Okay.
yeah, public service, technical support Marco midstream. So I'm playing Pluto. Pluto's A side, because characters have an A side and B side in this implementation, has Pluto's core, which is Break Rush. So after activating, I can move again. So most characters can only move onto the chip, then activate the chip that they're on, which means that you cannot actually use the same chip over and over again, because now you're forced to move onto a different chip and then use that chip. Pluto can essentially spam chips easier because I can move onto a chip, use it, and then after activating, I can move again. So I can move off to a different chip here, or if I want to loop on a chip, I can go here, activate Mega Buster, and then move back to Pluto's core, so that next turn I can go here, activate Mega Buster, and then move back to Pluto's core. So Pluto basically gets to move around his battle routine much faster than all the other characters can. And he can spam chips if they have a way back to him. Yeah. Oh, and the weapon I got is Spark Shot, which basically deals bonus damage for each chip that's adjacent to it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Does my core count as a chip, Brad?
Yeah, for the purpose of anything that cares, it's a chip.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, something like this might be more appropriate then. So now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 adjacent chips, and my Spark Shot deals 7.
Cool. Well, I think we've all seen all of the. Whoa. Sorry
Right.
about that.
So chat is
All-
also asking
all of the
about
gameplay?
symbols. I need to explain
yeah.
symbols still. So symbols are only relevant in as much as they affect hazards and bosses. Against some hazards, symbols usually just instantly destroy that hazard. So, if there's like a bomb and you use a, rolling cutter on it, you cut the wires and the bomb instantly defuses instead of having to deal with the bomb itself. Against robot masters and bosses, though, I guess it's better explained when we start actually fighting a robot master. But it's usually for weapon weaknesses.
Yeah. So, do we have any weapon weaknesses of any of the bosses here?
No.
Marco has
Pumpman and
Pumpman's weak.
yeah. So we can better show that off if we go against Pumpman, I
I
guess.
got one. Okay. Cool.
All right. So Pumpman.
Pumpman here.
So Pumpman over here. So you'll see this disrupt. So players choose the next die result. So the way the bosses work now is that this is all you're doing in the game. It's actually just fighting a bunch of bosses, and these are the boards in the board game. Because it's a board game. That card's blank. So that's a big guy. So these are hazards or minions or whatever you want to call them. They each.
Oh, it didn't load my new cards.
Oh no.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just play with the old hazards.
Yeah, that's fine. So that's fine. We have 3 hazards out. So the way the boss
I
works
can't
is
draw the card.
they've all been drawn, Brad. There's like 6 cards on the board now. This is blank.
Yeah.
That's also blank. It didn't load some of the cards. Okay, so
I don't think it loaded my new sheet at all.
oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe the internet
Yeah.
didn't work. So the way the game
Yeah.
works is actually quite simple, and actually really, really fast. On your turn, you move once, you activate, and everybody does that in any order we want. Then the boss goes, and the boss essentially rolls a command die. And based on the face of the die, this RM marker moves down a specific number of spaces. If we roll a 1, 2, or a 3, it goes down 1 space. If we roll a 4 or a 5, it goes down 2 spaces. If we roll a 6, it goes down 3 spaces. Then the Robot Master simply does whatever that space says. So, for example, I roll, it's a 4, it moves down 2 spaces. So it deals 4 damage, and then each bonus power also provides block versus successive attacks. So the boss would be dealing 4 damage, plus whatever bonuses he gets, then he'd block on the next turn. And that's how it goes. The Robot Master can loop around once, but the moment the Robot Master goes down again, and there's no more loops left, the Robot Master escapes, which means we don't defeat it, we don't get any of its weapons, and it deals 10 damage to our base. Which is bad because that's one of the lose conditions. The base cannot die. Presume custom dice if that makes it to print. Yes, probably. We have nothing about components right now because we're not even sure if we're going to keep the dice the way it is. We still need to make sure that the design is completely hammered out. Let's see. Each time Pump Man takes damage, his next attack gains +1 power plus up to 4 times. This bonus is lost at the end of each turn. So Pump Man essentially likes it when you damage him because he gets stronger. All right, and that's it, I believe. So these are the hazards that we're fighting against. There's a barrier generator, which means that Pump Man takes 1 less damage from each individual attack. This is a big eye. So minions are also basically just mini Robot Masters. They have their own subroutines. I believe they just go down 1 every time. Brad, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's how I've played it in previous versions.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
these guys always just move 1 space, and they start on their top behavior. So, like, they're currently on this. Their next behavior will be the next one down.
right. So the big eye currently does nothing. It'll do nothing, and then it'll hit somebody for 7. Actually, now's the best time to introduce the targeting mechanic. In this game, only 1 character is actually targeted by everything. So right now, let's say we start with Josh, or Tron. Bumpman and all the minions are attacking Tron. So Tron needs to do something and be defensive, while all the rest of us are going to go all in and destroy some faces, right? Okay, how do you determine chip layouts? Did you just build the chip setups before the stream? No, we did it during the stream. Essentially, the way the chip layouts work is that every chip needs to be somewhat connected by an arrow. So each chip in your board needs to be reachable by arrows. So for example, here, you see Pluto's core. This connects to Spark Shock via this arrow. Spark Shock connects to Mega Duster by this arrow. And then that connects to Jump via this arrow, which connects back to Spark Shock here. This connects to that, this connects to that, and then Spark Shock connects to Slide. So that's the only limitation, is that every node in your path should be reachable at some point. If it's completely isolated, say if I put Jump here where there are no arrows, that's illegal, basically. That's
Well, you just can't get to it. It's technically illegal to move, but most characters wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Some might.
Right. Yeah. So there's no illegal board state. There's just board states that don't work.
Yeah, you ideally want to be able to get to all of your chips
Right.
at some point.
Okay, so we all start at 16 life and 5 weapon energy. We can get upgrades later on as we play, but that's for a later point in time. I think that's it. Is everybody cool to play?
Yeah, I'm good.
Brad, how about you?
Yeah, if you can hear me and if I can work with the components, I will try to play.
Beautiful. I love all of these conditions that
Yeah.
we've placed on ourselves. How many cards do you choose as your starting setup? You get 2 Mega Busters, a slide, a jump, and then 5 bolts worth of money to buy from this shop over here. And you can still buy extra slides, Mega Busters, and jumps if you want. So for me, I bought a Spark Shock and an extra slide. Brad bought a Crash Bomber, and Josh only bought Skull Barrier. And
I bought an extra Mega Buster.
Oh, and he bought an extra Mega Buster as well. All right, so turns in this game are actually lightning fast. So actually, I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna Spark Shock, use 1 of my weapon energy, and deal 7 damage to this big guy and instantly kill it. Boom. So for people who don't know, Spark Shot gains bonus damage for each adjacent chip. Every single chip in my configuration is adjacent to Spark Shot. So it's like dealing plus 6 damage right now. So it's 7 damage. So that instantly kills a big guy. Bada bing, bada boom. So Brad or Josh, take your turn.
And then you get to move again if you want to.
Oh, right. I get to move again. I don't think I'll be
But
targeted.
do you want to move again?
I don't think I'll be targeted, but I think it might be better if I go onto a slide.
Yeah, probably not. So
Can you kill that Met, Brad? Because I don't want to spend Servbot time
okay.
killing that Met. It'll also power up Skull Barrier if you do that.
Sure, I can just attack this Met. So yeah. So I
Right. Yeah, so sorry. I'll answer the question in chat after Brad takes his turn.
unfortunately think that I'm gonna have to bow out, Marco. I can't interact with the table
Okay.
because my connection's so bad.
All right. That's
So,
fine. Do we just kick you out?
Yeah, so I'll just be in chat and answer chats.
All right. So so let me answer a few questions in the chat right now. You can have 2 arrows pointing at each other. Yes, you can have 2 arrows pointing at each other. It doesn't have to be that the arrows point to empty spaces. So that means you can create internal loops like I did with the Pluto's core and slide. So I could just go between Pluto's core and slide indefinitely if I wanted to. Next up, what is the big guy's health? The big guy's health is this, 6E. So I dealt 7 in one shot. Technically, you can track health between damage instances, but I insta-killed it, so I didn't have to. The Met also only has 1 HP, so there's no need to track that. As for scaling, here's how scaling works. At the start of the game, you spawn minions equal to the number of players. The boss has health equal to the number of players times a specific number. And outside of that, the boss has a bunch of AoE effects and stuff depending on the number of players as well. So certain boss attacks can target more than one character at a time. I don't believe Pumpman does that, but other Robot Masters do. So right now, since Brad dropped out, and we're just gonna like yeet Brad's board off the face of the earth, I guess. So now Pumpman has 30 health. I also got rid of the barrier generator because we're only supposed to start with 2 hazards instead of the 3 because Brad is gone.
So I could deal with the Met. I think I'll deal with it later because I've got time before I get Skull Barrier. So I'm just going to move Tron to slide and place Servbot on an adjacent chip. So this Mega Buster here. And then I'll end...
Do note that next turn the Met will basically be invulnerable to all damage.
Yeah. I'm going to destroy it on the turn I hit Skull Barrier.
Okay, so...
I'll destroy it with Skull Barrier.
So
sorry I wasn't able to join in with this one.
It's okay, Brad. We still love you.
We got to talk about scaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that works.
It looked like you were gonna body him. I mean, look, I'm probably gonna body him because I have his weapon weakness. So, yeah. So, wait, the Met goes first, right? The minions and hazards proc first. So the Met goes, and now the Met is blocking all incoming damage, which means on our next turn, we can't actually kill the Met, unless we have an attack that's unblockable, which I had with Search Snake, but I got rid of to get Spark Shock. So Josh rolled the dice, and it was a 5. So Pumpman goes 1, 2. Each bonus power also provides 2 block versus successive attacks. Pumpman currently has no bonus power, and so Pumpman deals 4 damage to Tron. However, Tron is standing on slide, so Tron needs to tap or, tip over the Fig to represent that Tron can no longer block any incoming damage, right? Tabletop Simulator makes tipping them hard, but that's fine. So that's the end of one turn. So one thing that you might notice from this version compared to the previous version is that this version is much faster. You literally move once, do a thing, end your turn, right? So it's very quick, especially if I don't have to explain anything. So for example, I'm just gonna take my turn. I'm gonna Mega Buster. You're not gonna deal damage to Pump Man right now, right?
No, of course not.
Okay. And also because we didn't go to our red symbol on Pump Man, the target doesn't switch, so Tron is still the target, right?
Yeah, a lot of other stores have more red routines, but Pump Man kind of focuses on one character frequently, since he only has the one red routine here. So Tron's going to be getting bodied quite a bit. Thankfully, I have a fairly defensive build for what I had available.
You have Skull Hazard as well. You Skull Barrier. Currently, Skull Barrier. No, it's 1 because we killed the big guy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be 2 soon.
All right, so I'm just gonna hit Pump Man. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, sure. Something to note too is we can do turns in any order we want. So if I want to go first, I could.
Right. So I mean, just go first, just to show it off.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So I'll move here. I'll place another serve bot. Then I'll end my turn, and then Marco can go.
So that's the power of Tron, is that Tron can go to a jump, but bank a turn on a Mega Buster, which means that Tron can be defensive and futurely offensive if she wants to.
Yeah, so against Pump Man, it's actually really useful, because we can, I can bank my damage on turns where it's likely that he's not going to hurt us. So for example, this kind of setup, if I wanted to, like let's say this was the board state, I could proc 2 Surf Bots and do 2 Mega Busters, because the chance of him hitting this next routine that doesn't do damage is pretty high, right? So he would basically waste all of his damage boost.
Right. Pressure Soaker is a pink, which means it hits all targets, right?
I believe so, yes.
All right. So I'm going to go for my slide to my Mega Buster, hit Pump Man because I can't destroy this Met. So Pump Man will take 2 damage. So this red here is going to be the Robot Master's life. I'm gonna count from 0 up to 30, and that'll make sense later, right? Okay, and I don't use my Pluto power. Then the Met takes its turn. It shoots each player for 1. Okay, so it shoots all of us for 1. I take 1 damage. Tron, do you have any defenses? Do you want to redirect
I
that?
could make you take 1 damage again, because my...
I mean, I think you have to, right? Because a void means that you have to redirect the damage.
Right, I mean, I could redirect it to you if I wanted to.
No. Isn't it required for you to redirect?
Oh, I don't know, actually.
Brad, can you answer that? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's like you're required to redirect. So,
well then take a damage then.
Yeah, okay,
That's
yeah.
fine with me.
Right. That's fine. We're spreading the love
Ideally,
here.
you would be on a defensive chip, but you weren't this time.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So the Met did that. And unlike Block, a Void doesn't require you to tap your character. So when Pump Man does his thing later, we'll see that Josh can still redirect the damage. Also, because I hit Pump Man actually gains +1 bonus power. Okay, and we roll the die to see what Pump Man does. He goes down 3. 1, 2, 3. This is truly unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because Pump Man landed on the multi-hit space.
Right. So since I'm on an avoid space, we'll take another 2 damage.
So I'll actually also take another 2 damage. So I take 4.
I mean, this target ain't changing forever, so you're just taking advantage that,
Yeah, that you'll inevitably have to take yourself.
Right.
Right. Okay.
That's really neat. Jeez.
Yeah. Don't worry, Pump Man's about to get Shrek'd, So my turn, I Spark Shock on Pump Man and deal like 7 damage to him. 1, 2, 3,
Like
4,
7?
5, 6, 7. Yeah, like 7.
Okay. I will move on to Skull Barrier and use Skull Barrier, so I get +1 power for each hazard that's been destroyed. So it already does a base of 1 which is plenty to kill this Met. So, to kill this Met and make my Skull Barrier stronger.
Right, so now Skull Barrier has 3 damage and 2 defense.
2 defense, yeah.
Right, so now we talk about weapon weaknesses, right? Okay, so this aura marker went away, but because I lightninged him, he also gets +1. And now I get... Yeah, now I get to pick what I want. Oh, sorry, I should have moved. Yeah, I'm gonna move from Spark Shock to here. Alright. What does hit the lab mean? Less options to bind. No. The lab is this giant health pool here. If this ever becomes 0, we die. We lose. So there's 2 loss conditions. Either Josh and I both die, or the lab dies. So basically, the lab is like a health bank that we can use to redirect damage to, and it's also the thing that all the robot masters are trying to kill actively.
And the lab health doesn't inherently heal between fights. We have to spend currency later on to heal lab, so
Right.
you know, it's kind of a tough decision to use money
Right.
between fights. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, so Chad's asking what's preventing me from using Spark Shock every turn. Weapon energy, it costs weapon energy to Spark Shock. Also just the positioning, right? I can't Spark Shock every turn because I can't land on Spark Shock every turn. That's just how the board is constructed. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, if I had swapped my Mega Buster and Slide, maybe I could Spark Shock every turn, but Weapon energy. All right. So because I Spark Shock, I get to actually choose where Pump Man goes to. Where do you want him to go to, Josh?
Let's see. Anywhere within the next 3 spaces.
So either Water Barrier or Water Blast.
You're right.
I think I'm just gonna make him
honestly,
Water Barrier.
He's gonna have a lot of block though, because he's gonna block 2, right?
Well, remember all of his bonus damage goes away. So
it goes away. So if we damage him, he'll get blocked for every.
Right.
Can he go to the second Water Barrier?
We don't want him to loop too fast, right?
Oh yeah, because he only loops once in this version, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So first Water Barrier?
Yeah, first Water Barrier, sure.
So because I hit him with his weakness, I essentially get to control where he goes, which essentially means I can cheat the dice roll, right? So I'm just going to say he rolls a 1, and he goes to Water Barrier. So he... Alright, okay. So while I'm going to go Water Barrier, so that means Josh is about to take... How much damage? 4 plus 1, so that's 5.
Right. Well, I take 2 less because I'm on Skull Barrier.
Okay, so you take 3 damage. Cool. And that's it. So we go again. I assume...
Can we always shunt damage to the lab? Or...
You can shunt damage to me.
Well, I'm not on an avoid chip.
Yikes. That's troublesome, actually.
Yeah. But it's fine. I took the 3. That's okay. So now it's back to us, right?
Right. And besides, it's easy. It's better for us to just take the damage, right? Because it costs more to heal the lab.
As long as we can deal with it, right? So I'll just move to Mega Buster and put a Surf Bot on Skull Barrier.
Right. I mean, I'm just gonna move to Mega Buster and deal no damage to him. Because again, when he did his attack, he lost all of his power. Josh dealt 2 damage to him. 1, 2. So he gains back a power, which means he has +2 block, right? So I think that's the end of it. We roll his dice. Gosh, please roll a 1 so the target switches. Hey!
Nice.
All right.
So we get more hazards, right? Because he
Right.
loops.
So when he loops, we take out one of these loop markers, and because we go onto that symbol, it means it generates a new hazard. Just find a hazard that actually is working.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Raggy.
There's some in here.
There's some in here.
We'll hit them. There we go.
Oh no, power gear.
Is 1 right, or is it 1 per player?
It's 1. It's not N, right? So if we want scaling, you just always look at N. Also, chat, I'm just gonna stop answering your questions because it seems like Brad's constantly just answering your questions in real time anyway.
So this power gear gives him 2 damage.
Right.
When he deals damage. So we gotta get rid of that real quick.
Which is bad.
That's okay, I can do that.
Because he's about to just hit you for... Josh, he's about to hit you for 8.
How do you get that? 5 from...
+1,
Or-
and then, remember, power gear's out.
Oh, I'll just write power gear. That's fine.
No. He's hitting you for 8 now.
Oh, right, because he looped, got another thing, and then attacked me.
Right.
Yeah, that's not great, but I got that.
So, for everybody in chat who's a bit worried, don't forget that Josh has actively not done anything because he's banking his actions. So there's going to be a turn where everything explodes. But because
Yeah,
he took a red action, I'm actually going to I'm now the target.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure that multi-attack, this pressure soaker, doesn't...
Well, I'm just going to hit them with Spark Shock and control his behavior next turn, right?
Yeah.
This is the beauty of being able to manage the weapon weaknesses, because now I'm just going to go Spark Shock, flip one of my weapon symbols, and now I'm just going to say he's going to go into Dispenser and not deal any damage. Aha!
Great. Okay, this is a good turn to use my serve bots, finally, so I'm going to move to Skull Barrier, and then proc some, if not all of my serve bots.
Well, remember,
Skull Barrier.
remember you can still serve bot Mega Buster after doing that, then remove all of your serve bots, right?
Right, because serve botting only costs an action, and using serve bots, taking them off, is free.
It's free.
So
yeah.
I can move to Skull Barrier, place a serve bot on a Mega Buster, and then remove Skull Barrier and Mega Buster to do 5 to power gear, which will power up Skull Barrier even more.
Right.
And then I can use the serve bot. I can use...
Yeah, remember, no matter how much damage you deal to him right now, he'll deal no damage to either of us. So just pump him out of all of the damage.
Yeah, so I'll...
Also, remember, each time you Skull Barrier, you need to spend some weapon energy. So you've Skull Barrier twice
so
at this point.
1 for the Skull Barrier there.
Oh, you can flip them.
Yeah.
They turn gray if you flip them.
Oh, neat. Okay. So yeah, even if I use a chip off of a serve bot, it still costs however much energy.
Right.
Thankfully, Mega Busters are free, so that's why I have so many.
Right. So I'm just gonna...
I did 4 total.
Yeah. And then I did 7. 1,
nice.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, and also, of course, using my Pluto, I'm gonna go on the slide. Okay. Here's the real question. Can we kill him next turn?
I don't know about that.
Okay, so there's no way that he's gonna escape, right? Because if I make him land on Dispenser, the highest he can roll on his next turn is a 3, so he'll never be...
likely kill him, it's just can we kill him without me dying?
Well, he's targeting me, so...
Right. Well, I'm worried about Pressure Soaker, but not yet.
Well, not yet.
We should be fine.
So, for chat also, he has like +4 damage right now or something, which is fine because I'm saying that he's rolling a 4 actually, which means that he goes forward 2 spaces and goes to Dispenser. Oh, he draws a hazard for bonus power. Are we okay with that?
Sure. As long as he doesn't get the defensive one, I can just because I'm Skull Barriering next turn anyway, so that's fine with me.
All right, so let's just make him draw a bunch of hazards. It's better than one of us taking like.
It's better than taking a ton of damage, right?
Right.
So we get a speed gear, we get a bear.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, this is not.
This is not good. He got Barrier and Sniper Joe and Lab Fire. Okay. So this is bad.
This is fine. So the barrier generator pump will take 1 less damage while this is up. The speed, or he gets +1 to his dice. Even if we set it, he gets that +1, but we can set it to a 1, and it's fine.
Well, I don't have Spark Shock this turn, so it's gonna be rough beans.
Right. And then Sniper Joe.
Sniper Joe's on
Fire.
So Fire basically has 5 weapon energy, which basically just means it has 5 ticks, and it'll basically burn our boards every turn. And he has Barrier Generator too. This might have been a bad decision, Josh, we might have made some terrible choices here.
I mean, we can still hit him for a decent amount of damage.
Right. Can you kill Speed Gear? No?
I can do 4 damage with Skull Barrier.
Well, you can't use Skull Barrier.
Yeah, I can serve bot it.
Oh, you can serve bot, right?
Immediately. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, then I think we need to just kill the speed gear so that he doesn't run away.
I mean, we don't have a lot of time left before Pumpman runs away, right?
Right. So we can't kill him on this turn, right?
No, but if we don't do any damage to him this
I'm
turn,
dealing 7 to him next turn.
Okay, 7, and then we'll need to deal what, 8 more? Because he's at 50. Oh no, he's at 22.
Why did
oh, okay.
3 more hazards come into play? So it says draw 1 hazard per bonus power. We hit them like 4 times all in one turn. So he had 4 bonus power, so 4 hazards came into play.
Right.
But Josh and I decided that was infinitely better than just taking a bunch of damage from him.
So I'll move to Mega Buster and put a Serve Bot on Sculpt. Or I could use it and do 4 to something. Should I just do 4 to Pumpman? Because if you do 7 next turn, we just kill them next turn, right?
Right, but remember, if he rolls a 6, he runs away.
Well, no, he only moves 3 spaces, right? He can't get to escape.
Speed gear, speed gear, speed gear.
Oh, speed gear, right.
Oh, no, it's only 1 to the result. It doesn't go to 7, right?
I mean, it could. But
No. It's 1 to the result, not 1 to the number of spaces he moves.
Right.
Right, so that's my bad. So he can't run away, period.
We're good.
So just deal damage to him, right?
Yeah, I'll just place the Serve Bot and then proc it immediately to do 1 plus 3 because we've beaten 3 hazards, so 4 damage. 2, 3, 4.
It's actually only 3 because Pumpman.
Yeah,
Pumpman has barrier generator. Alright, so now the minions, and of course on my turn,
And he gets a pump power.
Yeah, I Mega Buster. Who do I Mega Buster? Will we die if I
yeah, if he hits Pressure Soaker, I die.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hit the speed gear and deal 2 damage to it.
Okay. Yeah, do your 7.
Okay, so Brad has just confirmed that no, it's actually +1 to the number of spaces he moves. Okay, so he could escape if he rolls a 6, essentially.
Okay, I'll take those odds. That's fine.
Alright, so I'm gonna hit the speed gear and I'm just gonna put 2 weapon energy on it to represent the damage I've dealt. Sorry, 2 life energy on it to represent the damage I've dealt. Alright, I don't activate my Pluto power. And let's hope. A 2. Alright, so he goes here. Flash Flood, he hits the lab. So bonus damage is doubled, so that's 1 damage plus 1, and then that gets doubled, so it's 3. So the lab takes 3 damage. The Sniper Joe goes down and blocks all damage. And then this goes here. It removes 1 symbol, and when you remove one of the weapon symbols on it, it procs its effect here, which is each player gains a flame, and the lab takes 1 damage. So the lab takes 1 damage, and we both gain a flame. I believe it's on our current chip, right?
Yeah, so when we, enter a space with a flame, we take the damage?
Right, so when you enter a space with a flame, you take 2 damage. So, so that's how the game kind of works, is that the bosses not only attack you and attack your base, they also technically disrupt your pathing by putting hazards on your path. Right. Okay,
Right.
so I believe that's it. He loses all of his bonus power, and now we go to our turn. So I'll just move 1 and Spark Shock him in the face. Boom. For a total of death, Josh. For a total of death.
Actually, let me kill Speed first because we get more money if we kill more hazards.
Right. Sure, you can kill
So,
Speed Gear.
I'll move to Skull Barrier and activate it normally.
Well, okay, so you keep forgetting to
more
spend your
damage.
weapon energy to do that, but it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
All right, I've spent it.
Sorry,
for
I'm
you.
used to not spending weapon energy on things. I've got it anyway, so that's good. See, I'll destroy Speed Gear. Give us another hazard destroyed, and then you can destroy Pumpman.
All right, Pumpman gets yeeted off the face of the earth, and that brings his damage up to 30. Which kills him. Yay! So all of these things get discarded because, you know, we don't need to fight the minions if the boss is dead now. So all of these minions go back. So how does upgrading and like what's the gameplay loop, right? So we've beaten the boss. What now? So we gain money equal to half the boss's life, which is why I was counting up, right? So we dealt 30 damage, so now we have 15 money, plus 3 times the number of hazards we destroyed. So that's 4 which means we get plus 12 money, right? So we have 27 money. So between Josh and I, we have 27 money. What can we spend that money on? Here are your options. Oh, also when you beat the Robot Master, this gets yeeted off the face of the earth. And I think you gain a free copy of whatever his element is, right?
Yeah, we searched the deck for the first 2 of his element cards.
So I'm going to search the deck for the first 2 shield icons that pop up. This is the first one, Leaf Shield. And Junk Shield.
That. Oh, yeah, I'll take Leaf Shield.
Right. Well, I guess I'll take Junk Shield. So here, so that's what happens when you kill a Robot Master. Then the store repopulates itself. So it's a completely new store. None of the other stuff that you saw before.
And that half health thing is important to note too, because if we didn't beat Pump Man, we would still get bolts equal to half of what we damaged him.
Right, and the things that we destroyed.
If we had dealt 10 damage before he got away, then we would get 5 bolts plus.
Right. So the Robot Master running away isn't actually as bad as you'd think it is, but it's still terrible because your base takes a bunch of damage, you get less money, and also it doesn't count towards the number of robots you need to... well, technically it counts towards the number of robots you need to beat, but your base taking 10 damage is just terrible, like completely terrible. Also, all the flame hazards go away. So now, what are our options? So we can sell any of our chips for their bolt cost -2. So I could sell this Junk Shield for 3, Josh could sell this Leaf Shield for 4, etc. That's one option we have. The other option we have is healing. So Josh and I can heal our life totals for 1 bolt per life.
Yeah, let's start out by doing that. See how many bolts we have left.
Alright, so you heal for 13, I'll heal for 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 19 all in all, which means that we only have 8 money left.
Right. I just want a needle cannon. Can you give me a needle cannon? Is that okay?
Okay, wait. Sorry, I still need to list all the options. Then
oh yeah, we could heal the lab too.
We could spend 2 money to heal the lab for 1. So this is why you don't want to make the lab take damage. Instead, you want you to take damage because it's easier to heal your life than it is the lab. Okay, so how much money we have? We have 8. What are you gonna buy?
I just want this needle cannon. That's all I want. It's 3. You'll have plenty of chips left.
Okay, sure, that's fine.
Okay. Actually, is there a better defensive chip out here? Not really. I can sell my own chips to buy other stuff. Wait, you said chip selling is -2? I thought you said it was half earlier.
No, it's half for the Robot Master bolts, but chip selling is -2.
Okay, so Mega Buster sell for 0 then. They don't sell for 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've spent 3 money, so we only have 5 money left. So here's my debate, Josh, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could sell... I'm going to sell this Junk Shield, because I have no way of disabling things.
I'm going to sell this jump for 1, so you can get 1 money. Where you can get 1 money.
Are you sure you want to get rid of your only avoid?
Yeah, I'm like super defensive now. I'm fine. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I might sell Skull Barrier too, because Needle Cannon and Leaf Shield I think are just better.
Okay, but here's
also Skull Barrier. So, 1.
Okay. Here's my point though, Josh. Right? I have a choice. I could make a build that's more balanced, and lets us do some other things, right? Or I could just buy another Spark Shock.
Oh, and just go nuts.
And just go nuts with Spark Shots.
Can you put both Spark Shots like around with still surrounded?
That's what I'm gonna figure out, right? So if I put Spark Shock in place of this slide over here, I could technically do like this, and then if I bought 2 more chips, Spark Shock would be as surrounded as the first Spark Shock.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. How many bolts would we have? That costs 3.
So Spark Shock costs 3, so we'd have 4 left.
5. Ooh, I could buy another Mega Buster for 2.
Oh, I could actually just buy a bunch of cheapo ones, right?
Rain Flush is really... We made good use of Rain Flush yesterday.
Yeah, but it's also really expensive. It's 6, by the way. That's a typo.
Let's look at weaknesses, maybe.
Right.
For what we have coming up, because
Sure. Let me see. So I don't think we have time to fight another Robot Master, and I don't think there's a point to fighting another Robot Master to show off this game.
Sure.
Yeah, technical issues and explaining have taken up a lot. But
finish our buying.
Yeah, let's just finish our buying phase. So I'm gonna sell this junk shield for 3. 1, 2, 3. And it means that I could buy a slide for 2.
I'll buy your Spark Shot first.
I already bought it.
Okay, good.
Then I'm gonna buy Pharaoh Wave. So I think my setup will look something like that.
I kind of wanted another Mega Buster, but okay. That's fine.
You have enough money to buy another Mega Buster. There's 2.
Was there 2 left? Okay, I'll buy another Mega Buster.
Alright. Cool. So at the end of the first Robot Master after buying, here's what our setups look like. Tron basically just now has shields forever.
Actually, this is a better setup.
Right. So with this setup, Tron actually... So one thing to remember is that you don't have to activate... when you step onto something, you don't have to activate it, right? This is especially useful for stuff that costs weapon energy. So you don't have to activate stuff that you step on. But passives on a thing don't need activation. So if you're on Leaf Shield, even if you didn't activate it, you still get the block on Leaf Shield, you still get the block on Needle Cannon, etc., etc.
Right. So on a future, game, I can have this nice rotation of, moving between my defensives and placing serve bots while I wait.
Right.
And proccing them all at some point.
Right. So on my... So I was doing that actually against Pumpman already, in case people didn't notice, where I was doing Spark Shock, and then I was going onto the slide to get defense. I wasn't just doing that to accelerate my turns. So my setup is now completely insane, because I will go Pluto's Core into Spark Shock that deals 7, into other Spark Shock that deals 7. So that's cool. So I can Spark Shock and then slide because of Pluto's Core. Then on the next turn, I can Spark Shock into slide because of Pluto's Core. And then I can Pharaoh Wave into Mega Buster because Pluto's Core. And then I go back to Spark Shock and then slide. So this game and a lot of what your upgrading looks like is more than just the weapons themselves, but how you can create those internal loopages or loopies that allow you to essentially, program your robot to do a cool thing. So my robot does Spark Shock Slide, Pharaoh Wave, Mega Buster into Spark Shock Slide, right? Then I have some auxiliary options with the Slide here and the Mega Buster here in case I want to deal more damage, right? Josh's setup is really good because he just alternates between Leaf Shield and Needle Cannon constantly while placing Serve Bots all around. So your your character power actually dictates a lot of how your board will be built, right? So I think
that, and what we might fight too. If we wanted to look at these, we could, or if we knew playing a lot, we would know that maybe Sword does this kind of a thing, so we need to buy a certain kind of chip or have a certain setup to deal with it. These setups are kind of all-rounders, right, where we're just kind of building to deal with whatever might come our way. But we could build more specifically for the next robot we're fighting if we have that information, which is nice.
So so that's pretty much the game. And again, I want to make it very clear: this game is lightning fast in how many rounds you take, right? Like you might take a lot of rounds, but each round is like 30 seconds, right? The only reason it took so long was because we were on TTS. I was explaining everything and etc. But really, the game works like this, right, Josh? I move a thing, I deal damage. Josh, what do you do?
Yeah, your turn is move and do a thing.
Right. No, let's just
with the Robot Master.
Right. So, like for example, one turn is like this, right? I move a thing, I Spark Shock a thing, deal that damage. Your turn, Josh.
Right. Yeah. I move. I place a serve bot. I'm done.
All right. Boss rolls a dice. Bam. He does that much damage. He moves down. My turn again. Right. How long did that take? Like 10 seconds. Right.
Right.
It's a really fast game. And I forgot to mention something about buying is that you can buy more weapon energy by paying bolts equal to the number of weapon energy you currently have, right? So right now it would cost 5. then we'd gain 1, so then it would cost 6, and then it would cost 7, and then it would cost 8, etc., etc., etc. So that's
You
the
can't
game.
buy more life though.
Which is unfortunate. You can't buy more life. If you want that, just buy more shields, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we had a really cool setup here. I was like pseudo blocky avoidy, but mostly damage stacker. And you're literally just block man, right?
Right. And against a robot master like Pump Man, it would have been someone that wasn't Pump Man. It would have been a little interesting. Marco could have moved to his avoids and shunted the damage to me when I had big defenses and stuff in a future fight.
Right, because certain robot masters have more. Like for example, Swordman has like 3 reds, which means he's switching targets constantly.
Right.
I believe Cutman. Yeah, so Cutman also has a bunch of reds.
Cutman has big damage. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. That's the game. So hopefully all of you enjoyed watching. I'm gonna spend maybe like 5 more minutes to maybe answer. Can you flip over Wily? Okay, sure. So what's the end game of this game? So after you beat a certain number of robot masters, you decide what that is. I think it's like 4, 6, or 8, right? Depending on how long you want your game to be. You flip You flip over Wily himself, and you fight the Wily machine. And he's basically just another robot master, but as you can tell by just putting him side by side, his numbers are definitely bigger. For example, this is reflect up to 3 incoming damage. This one is literally just block all incoming damage. Just like block all of it. He has unblockable attacks. He has Skull Missile, which deals 7 and disables your chips. So yeah, he's definitely just a harder boss. Like, he literally has more than double the life total that Cutman does. Right. Giga Skull Beam deals 7. Ah, okay. And notice Wily doesn't run away or escape. Literally, Wily just keeps looping until he dies, or we die, or the lab dies. Right. I don't think this Wily has a special power or anything.
Presumably it will in the future.
Right, right. Oh my gosh! Jamming laser though! Oh my gosh! Look at that, Josh. This is evil. All right.
Right. Oh wow, yeah. Oh yeah, the other important thing to note about Wily is that he just loops forever. He doesn't run
I just
away.
said that.
He just loops until
I just said that.
Must have missed that.
Right. Okay, so one thing we never experienced in the game is the last mechanic I'll talk about before we log off. So what happens if you run out of weapon energy, right? Well, at any point in time, and it also happens if you happen to go onto a chip that has no connections. So for example, this wasn't here. If I went onto Mega Buster, I actually have no chip to go to. So what happens then? Well, at any point in time, instead of taking your turn, you can teleport back to your core, and then all of your weapon energy comes back. But you literally do nothing that turn, so it's like a rest. Or in this game, we call it a reset. So jamming laser is really, really disruptive, because it essentially forces you to reset on your turn. Oh my gosh, that's scary. All right, Josh, did you have fun?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like this version a lot, actually.
Yeah, so the game definitely
Not
needs.
just because Tron's in it.
Yeah. Tron's not in it though, so just saying. This version I think is very interesting because I really like the essentially build your board mechanic. It reminds me a lot of you know the custom chips in Mega Man Battle Network, because that's what it feels like. It's like you can make your own loadout. And it's not the deck, right? It's not your deck of chips. It's the custom chip system where it's like, give Mega Man extra buster damage and give Mega Man extra whatever. So it kind of reminds me of that. But
yeah, you get to build really cool combos and to interact with your teammates to build even cooler combos.
Right.
Well.
So there you go.
And you place focus. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of and there's an A side and B side to every character. So it's like for Pluto's B side, it's if I defeat a minion / hazard, I can move and activate again, so I can combo off on minions and kill them constantly. What's Tron's other side?
Tron A, instead of moving, I can just activate chips that are adjacent to me, so I can just stay on Tron's core and just have my surfbots do everything for me, and just activate a leaf shield or a slide.
Oh, you're a worker placement game, essentially.
Yeah, she basically turns it into a worker. And it's two adjacent serve bots as well. So if this were the board state, I can just activate Needle Cannon or Mega Buster.
So the big thing about Tron in this version is that she doesn't care about arrows anymore, right? So she could have Mega Buster here. If she has a serve bot here, she could just put the serve bot on Mega Buster because she doesn't care about moving. She only cares about adjacency.
She does still care about adjacency, so your pathing is still important, but not in the same way it would be if you cared about arrows.
So you would do something like this, right? So that more things are adjacent to each other or something?
Right. So when I place on slide, I have a lot of adjacency. I can hit here.
Right.
So I could go to here or here. Kind of like how you were with your free movement with Pluto.
Right.
Just a little,
Yeah, but Pluto was cool because I moved my Fig, which means that I get to go onto a space with block or avoid without actually having to activate it. Because slides and most avoids are terrible when it comes to the damage they deal. So...
So yeah, there's all kinds of replayability in this version, which is great.
I say that someone is passive.
See, I think that's the thing. This game feels a lot like Mega Man to me, and I think it's really cool.
Any other chat questions, or should we wrap up?
Yeah, I think we should wrap up at this point.
Okay.
One thing I just want to make very clear is that this is still in testing. We can still prune down. We can still like don't expect this to stay, right? Like it might stay, it might not stay, right? That's just the nature of game development. So there you go. I really like this version. I'm really confident in it. So with a bunch of number tweaks, this could be like muy caliente. Right. Okay, outside of that, thank you everyone for joining us on this Level With Us livecast, or as I now call it, the Mega Man With Us livecast. Hopefully our tech snafus didn't get too much in the way of your enjoyment. So thank you so much for watching. As usual, it's been me, your host, Mark Dos Santos, also known as Mechanic Curriculum. With me has been my friend, my cavalier, Mr. Ithri himself.
Hey, thanks for coming, guys.
You're right.
Happy gaming.
Happy gaming, and don't forget what's our don't forget for Mega Man board game.
Don't forget to arrange your subroutines.
Don't forget to reset, and thank you.
Yeah, don't forget to reset.
Thanks, Light Lab. Thank you, and good night.